when I was little, my mom used to feed me alphabet soup, and she would say that I loved it. I didn't. She was just putting words in my mouth. Alphabet soup. Anyway, we got our eaves done. We got the eaves done on the other side. All the decking's done on the roof. We got this gable decking done. We did a bunch of stuff inside where we got nailers, and it's time consuming, but it doesn't look that impressive to you guys. Oh, hey there. So today is my Saturday, and I know that because I look at a calendar and it says Saturday. Like, yep, that's my Saturday. I work pretty much every day. All right, so today we put house wrap around here, and we put in windows and doors, exterior windows. And we haven't done the garage door yet, but we did that. We still have to do OSB on this gable over here, but whatever, you know. It was a frustrating morning, and I'm hot and tired, so we're gonna call it a day. Oh, hey there. So this morning we did some siding over here and a little bit of soffit and fascia. We can't do the high stuff because we need to get some flashing. But then we trimmed all this out, and then we started doing siding here about, I don't know, 9 minutes ago. And so that's gonna go pretty well. I'm pretty excited about it. Now, 30 years ago, I was a youth pastor, and when I was, we played a game called Bigger Better. And yesterday at church, I was reminded of this game, Bigger Better, and like how important it is to learn this lesson. Okay, so here's the goal. Get your youth group or your group or whatever. You split them up into teams. Each team is given a paper clip, one paper clip. And their job is to go knock on people's doors. I'm sure they love it. And they trade the paper clip for something bigger and better. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're not going to get that much. But if you keep doing it, you get more. So you're like, I'll trade you this paper clip for, and they're like, I'll give you a pencil. And then the next person, like, I'll trade you this pencil for something bigger and better. And they're like, okay, whatever. Anyway, within a few hours, they come back with pianos, cars, couches, furniture, bags of clothes, all kinds of things. And everybody kind of comes back and goes, look what I got from a paper clip. And it made me think, you know, Jesus said, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, the tiniest seed there is, then you can say to this mountain, be uprooted and thrown into the sea, and it will be done for you. And I think that we just think like we can go from zero to hero, right? Like we're doing literally nothing for God. We're, you know, hanging out in bars every night and sleeping with everybody we meet. And then all of a sudden, like, I've got a little bit of faith. Watch, I moved a mountain. You're like, well, calm down. Maybe you got to go step by step, right? Maybe you got to be like, I traded this paper clip for a pencil, and I traded the pencil for a whatever notebook pad, and so on and so forth, until you level up to something bigger. But you start with a mustard seed, right? You start with something really small. And I think that if we can learn that lesson, if we understand that you have to work it, you have to like keep going. And every time, this is an important lesson too, every time you're like, I want that thing, it's going to cost you the thing you already have. It's going to cost you the life you already have, all of it. And if you hold too tightly to that life, at the end you'll be like, well, I got this paper clip you gave me. And you're like, yeah, that's not good. You didn't do that so you could get a paper clip. You did that to see how much you could get out of it. I'm not talking about physical things, but a lot of times God calls us and he's like, I want you to give up everything. And you're like, but then what? And he's like, but then I'm going to give you something better, something bigger and better. So calm down and let go and just trust me. And all of a sudden you do, and you're like, oh, that's actually not so bad. And you're like, I know. But then you get comfortable with that, and he goes, I'm going to need you to trade that in for something bigger and better. And you're like, I don't want to. He's like, look, just trust me on this. After a while, you're like, okay. And even when you have a lot, you're like, I trust God. I will give it away. And then all of a sudden you're like, and I'm ready to let it go. And he goes, I'm going to bless you with something bigger and better. And you're like, I guess this just doesn't get worse. So, but once again, I'm not talking about physical things. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about blessings in your heart, things you can do to help people out, and live a full life full of faith. So I hope that encourages you. We're going to keep working because, you know, siding's not going to put itself up. So yesterday was Father's Day, and I know what you're thinking. A lot of us don't have fathers. In fact, it's pretty much a fatherless generation. When I talk to somebody like, I grew up with my dad, and he was really nice the whole time, I'm always like, wait, what? Because I think so many of us either don't know our dad at all, and I didn't know mine. I didn't meet mine until I was 27, or maybe the dad that you had was underwhelming. And I think that this affects how we think about God. I think that we look at our father and we say, that, you know, not, you don't consciously think this, but you think if that's how my dad is, then that must be how God is. And so if your dad was very authoritarian and you never could please him, then you probably feel like God is that way. And you're like, what's the point of even trying at all? If your dad was very kind and loving, you might be like, God is very loving and kind. And I envy you, really. But a lot of us, you know, grew up and there was abuse and all kinds of bad things. And so then we kind of project that onto God and we go, well, that's the way that God is. But it's not. That's the way that earthly fathers are. And, you know, we have made a whole lot of mistakes, our generation and generations before us, that have put us in a place right now where the family structure is very, very weak and where people don't have anything to, they don't have a good example. And so I encourage you, actually read the Bible and like look at the heart of God and understand that he's not like your father. All right, anyway, we did some siding, we did some more siding. We also finished off the gable on the other side, and tomorrow we'll do more siding. Now, a lot of you want to follow me, and so I want to show you what the view looks like. This is it. That's it. Did you know that whenever people sag their pants, do you know where that came from?
Prison.
So that's correct. So they would sag their pants because they're like, this is available for the highest cigarette price or whatever they're selling off their booties for. But didn't you have a theory?
A theory? On why they're so stupid and they go out and do criminal acts with saggy pants? That theory?
Yes, that theory.
Yeah, that's my theory.
What do you think
that's
they should
not
wear?
very smart. I'd go with spandex if you're
going to do a criminal act.
Yeah.
Wear some spandex or something that's maybe a belt.
A belt, yeah,
right?
That would be wise.
Some leggings, jeggings. What do you think?
Have some criminal tools with you.
What kind of criminal tools? I'm just trying to help out our viewers here.
Pry bar.
Yeah, it's important.
Hammer.
Yeah.
A truck and chain to grab the ATM machine.
Okay. Anything else? Most important, I think the most important thing, the takeaway here is, if you're going to be a criminal and you want to be successful at it and don't want to get caught as easily, wear some spandex. Thanks, Alan. If you're anything like me, you probably wonder, all the people that we thought were crazy back in the day, you think they were just time travelers and they were using Bluetooth devices? Because now people talk to themselves and you're like, perfectly normal, probably on Bluetooth, probably talking on the phone. But back then we'd be like, that dude is cuckoo. All right, so speaking of what other people think, I think it needs to be said, your relationship, your marriage, and your life are not a democracy. I don't care what anybody else has to say about them. You're the one that has to answer for it. It's your life. You got to answer to God for it. Live it that way. I don't care what anybody else says. And let me be clear here. I'm not saying this in a I can do whatever bad thing I want to way. What I'm saying is you can do whatever good thing that you want to way, and you don't have to ask anybody's permission. Don't wait for them to say, you know, we all agree we think you should do the good thing. Do it. Do it regardless of what people say. Because later on, they will come to you and they'll be like, yeah, I want to be like you. And you'll be like, it seems like, if I remember right, you were very critical. And like, I was never critical. And you're like, I have video evidence right here of you being critical. And they're like, that wasn't me. And you're just like, whatever. So do the right thing regardless. In your relationship, I'm going to give you some marital advice. Are you ready? So if you're wondering, like, should I, and I know a lot of you are thinking this right now, should I stay with my significant other, or should I stay with my husband or wife? And you're wanting my input, which you shouldn't take my advice because I'm single and so I've failed at every single relationship I've ever had in my entire life. But if you wanted my advice, I'm going to give it to you. Are you ready? Did they cheat on you? No. Was there attempted murder involved? No. Stick it out. Make the best of it. Find a way in your heart to love that person. And understand that it will be worth it in the end. You're like, don't just like, I survived, but I've said bad things about them every day and nagged them to death or whatever. Instead, be like, look, I'm going to stay anyway. I'm going to make the best of it. I want this to be my best friend. I want to spend time with them. I want to love them and I want them to love me. I'm going to treat them the way that I want to be treated. And eventually, maybe they'll treat me back somewhat the same. Because I think that matters. And if you're wondering, like, should I fulfill my commitments in business? Yes, you should. Should you wait for other people's advice? No, don't listen to them. Do the right thing no matter what. Because even if something is legal, it doesn't mean it's right. And even if something is illegal, it doesn't mean it's wrong. Live your life to the fullest. We're gonna keep working. I am so confused because I went to this relational banker and I keep making all these deposits, but there seems to be no interest. It's sad. I'm just kidding. I know I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life. All right, so we got this gable up this morning and it's beautiful. We still need to caulk and paint it, obviously, so calm down. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and I know a lot of people like this. You're all like, I'm tough. I don't need nobody. You don't understand. Like, I'm an independent man. I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man. I'm like, okay. I'm an island. I don't need nothing. I'm like, yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna live off the grid. I'm like, that's cute. And they go on and on and on. And then they're all like, I'm so depressed. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants to spend time with me. I'm like, it's a two-way street here, hon. And I mean that hun, dude or chick. So here's the thing. We live in society. People, I don't know if you've realized this, they are social creatures. We need to have water, air, food, and what else? Love. We need to have love. We need to have relationships with each other. It is important that we grow our roots down and that our roots intertwine with other people, and it makes us stronger. It makes us better people. And if you think, I don't need anybody, blah, blah, I'll show them. The only thing you're gonna do is isolate yourself and you're under attack. You're weak now, right? Don't do that. Here's what you need to do. Spend time with people, invest in those relationships, love people, make your roots grow together so you can't become untangled. Because it matters, because then all of a sudden some bad thing comes and you're like, nah, man, we're a team. We are locked together and nothing's gonna penetrate us because we're solid. So whenever you think, I'm tough, I can handle this by myself, I don't need nobody, you're wrong. You do need people and they need you. You are just important to them as they are to you. It's a symbiotic relationship. That means everybody wins in this thing, right? So spend some time with each other, love each other. Don't just think money's what's most important, it's not. You need to like invest in other people and let them invest in you. It matters. All right, let you go. Oh, hey there.
Hey, how we doing today?
Bob Cameron.
Tropic Air.
Tropic Air and Heat.
Here to make you.
Are you here to bring us heat today or air?
We are here to actually bring you air, hopefully.
Yeah, me too. I hope that's the truth.
Yes.
So tell me about this system and how this stuff works. Is this efficient or is it better just to have like the old pipe, some ready insulation around it with the heat on it?
Well, this here is flex duct, and a lot of people, when they put in flex duct, they don't hang it correctly. Mm-hmm. And so what ends up happening is it sags in a bunch of spaces, and your airflow is really designed to go straight. When they got rid of metal duct years ago, and with the flex duct, probably the worst thing that happened is people just are really lazy in putting it in. So.
But you got a straight run. So what you're saying is that if it sags down, that you want to have good flow, and you want it to flow and then curve nice and then come right in, not pinched off somewhere.
Yeah, not a roller coaster.
Yeah, you don't want that, right? You want a nice smooth flow that gets air to you so that you cool off or heat up. Now, you were talking about thermostats. Tell me about that.
Yeah, and a lot of people nowadays, what they'll think is on the thermostat, if it's hot in their house and it's like 75 degrees and they want to get it to 72, a lot of people will turn it down to 60 or something, thinking that it's going to get there faster, but it doesn't.
It won't.
Nope.
It's
always going to put out the same temperature of air. As it gets cooler, the air will get cooler. But setting your thermostat below what you really want it at does not do you any good and get you any place any faster. So just set it at what you're comfortable. And temperatures do change. When the humidity's up, 75 doesn't feel as comfortable at 75 at 80% humidity and 75 at 55% humidity. So sometimes you have to adjust that, and we get a lot of calls that people, well, it just seems like it's just it's not the same temperature as it normally is. That's because humidity's up. So a lot of times to get humidity out, just put it down a degree or two, and that'll suck the humidity out, make the thing cool and make you feel a whole lot more comfortable.
So how long did it take you guys to do this? 28 minutes. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. These guys are very fast.
We're almost keeping up with John.
They're so much faster than me. It took me almost 9 days to build this whole house, and they did everything else in 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Really amazing. Yeah. So you've given me some good advice, some good tips. I want to tell you something that's on my heart. Okay.
Okay.
I've got a friend, and her name is Rachel. And this is sad. Okay. A lot of people take pictures of her from the side. Stop Rachel profiling.
Oh, Lordy me.
So if you're anything like me, you probably think, did they get the siding done today? Well, we did. Except for, you see that little piece there and that little piece there? Somebody didn't estimate right. You see this big bunch of extra stuff right here? Somebody didn't estimate right. It was me. I'm not gonna lie. But still pretty close. Like if you think about, I bought everything in one truckload, one delivery, and it was all full of materials, and this is what's left at the end. So I'm pleasantly surprised. Now, we saw something today at Schlotsky's, and I just want to share it with you guys. It was touching and such a great life lesson. Sandwiches need chips. Shoulders don't. You don't need to have a chip on your shoulder. Stop wanting to fight everybody. Be nice. You know what? It's a lot easier to be friendly to people. Turn your enemies into your friends. Be nice to them anyway. Love them. Love you guys. Oh, hey there. So you probably noticed that about 27 minutes ago, I started painting this. I'm not all the way done yet. I've got another minute, but I got to get the other side. So usually it takes 28 minutes. Now, people often say things to me like this. John, why do you work so fast? And my answer is this. Look, I paid for the whole speedometer. I'm going to use the whole speedometer, okay? A lot of people are like, I think I stopped at 55 because that's what the law says. And I'm like, well, that's real cute. But some of us are serious about breaking the law. And so I'm going to try to get this thing up to 140 because this is something that perplexes me, right? Besides the fact that Alan is cutting while I'm trying to make a video.
Sorry,
This is what perplexes me. Everything else in life, you do it slow, you're frowned upon. You do it faster, you know, people are like, hey, good for you. We're going to reward you for that. You work faster, we're going to give you more money. You know, like you're more efficient, we're going to give you more money. You do everything faster, like, man, he cleans faster, all the things, right? And you're like, man, we applaud this. Good job. You're faster at whatever it is you do. Faster internet speed, you know what I'm saying? Faster, better gas mileage, all of this. Except for driving, right? You're driving faster. They're like, nah, I don't think so. I'm like, but I'm very good at this. Like, I'm very fast. I'm efficient. I'm focused. Look, I'm marking out my path. I'm making a hole. And they're like, nah, we're gonna take some of your money. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. 0 stars. Would not recommend. Hard pass. All right, I'm gonna get back to work. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful afternoon in your nice, cool air conditioning, because we have our own air conditioning, which is made out of body liquid. And that's why I drink pickle juice every night, because otherwise I will cramp up and get dehydrated. Even worse than I already am. Love you.
Man, you caught me off guard, John.
No, I didn't. What were you just talking about?
Well, I don't know how we got started, but I was just like, oh, we were talking about the safaris, and I was like, now the kids are like, I don't want to go sit in a hot car. I want to sit at home and play on the phone. They don't do anything anymore. I mean, I used to love playing croquet, man. That was a fun game. And when's the last time you seen somebody playing croquet?
Almost never.
Why is that, John?
Because people are too lazy and they're on their phone all the time.
Like you? Snap!
That stings, Alan. Oh, hey there. So, we painted, and then Alan and Andrea are over there, and they're painting the black trim around the windows. It's beautiful. Now we're getting the garage door put in. I don't know if you noticed, the bottom part looks pretty good. Above that, less good. I feel like if they put some more pieces in, it'll be better. So we also cleaned up around here. Drew did a lot of this, and it looks so much better. And this reminds me that I went to this archaeological excavation site, and they were all looking for this, like the lower part of a leg. It was quite the shindig. Quite the shindig. Oh, hey there. So today's my Friday, and I know that because I look at a calendar and it says Friday. Apart from that, I'm going to work every day. But we are going to leave early today because I'm playing tonight. It's going to be great at Artful Expression in Arlington. So come on out. It's going to be amazing. As you can clearly tell, we got the outside painted and the doorknobs in. We got a garage door in. Take a look at that. You know? Isn't that amazing? Ooh, garage door opener, the whole everything. That's amazing. We got some stink pipes up through the roof. That's really great. We got heat and air up in here. We got the attic stairs put in. Blah, blah, blah. We got plumbing laid out everywhere so that we can have a big fat mess. Now, I want to tell you guys a story. And this story is about a king. And I know you guys love kings. This is King David. Okay, now King David was a good king. He was known as a man after God's own heart. So time passed. He conquered. He basically fought and won a lot of Israel, not by himself, but he was very influential, right? And there was a song back in the time that said Saul has killed his thousands and David has killed his tens of thousands. But, dun dun dun, it was spring and David started getting maybe a little bit lazy and maybe a little bit cocky. And when all the kings went out to fight war, and I don't know why they did it in spring, I guess it was better weather to fight, then he stayed back home. And when he stayed back home, he was up on his roof and he looked over and he went, she's hot. Now keep in mind, he's the king, okay? He had 7 wives and he had killed tens of thousands of people. But in this particular case, he looked down and went, she's hot, and then had her brought to him. And then he slept with her. And then she got pregnant. But she was somebody else's wife. And that's not right. So then he's like, uh-oh, you're pregnant? So then he brings back the husband who was working for him as a soldier. I was like, hey, send Uriah back home. No reason. Go be with your wife. And you know what Uriah did? I'll tell you what he did. He was like, it's not right for me to be at home and enjoy my wife while all my brothers are out there fighting a battle. And so he slept outside on the doorstep, like front porch, whatever. Well, then David's like, he didn't sleep with you? She's like, He's like, darn it. So then he's like, I'll tell you what. I need, captain of the guard, I need you to go and push Uriah out to the front lines of battle, and I want you to, could you keep it down? I'm trying to make a video here. I'm just kidding. So then he's like, put him out in the front of the battle, and then pull back and let him die. And you're like, wow, that's not nice. That's not a nice thing to do. So he slept with this guy's wife, got her pregnant, then he was honorable, and then you go and have him killed. Now keep in mind, he killed tens of thousands of people. That's not the point. The point is that this particular one, that's not good. That's not a nice thing to do to somebody. So he gets away with it, except it's heavy on his heart. Some of you guys probably know what that feels like. I think we all know what that feels like, to feel like the weight of something. You're like, this doesn't feel right inside my heart. Time passed. A prophet comes to David and he says, I'll tell you what, there is this man and he has flocks and flocks and flocks of sheep. And he's like, okay. And this other guy has 1 sheep. Everything he's got is invested in this 1 sheep. And he's like, okay. He goes, and the guy with flocks and flocks of sheep was like, hey, I'm gonna have a party tonight. And he goes, okay. And he goes and finds the guy with 1 sheep and he kills that sheep and feeds all his friends with that sheep. And David was like, he did what? And he was mad. He was outraged. He's like, let me find this guy. I'm going to kill him. Like, bring him to me. And the prophet looks at him and he says, you are that man. You are that man because of what you did to Uriah the Hittite and what you did with Bathsheba. And he's like, and then he started to cry because he had been carrying this weight for so long that he started to cry. And he's like, I am guilty. I am so wrong. I am so sorry. I've been carrying this weight for so long. Please, God, forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. And he lost the weight off of his heart and he was forgiven. Now, this is not an excuse for you to go sleep with somebody else's wife and kill him. This is saying that even somebody who has made horrible mistakes can then be forgiven for that. And after that, he was called a man after God's own heart. So be encouraged, because even if you have done something wrong, you can be redeemed. All right, we are going to go because it's hot. And look at my crew over there. Look at them. They're like this. Let us go, John. Pay us money so we can leave. All right, love you guys. Oh, hey there. So, as you can clearly tell, Angel and Sylvester have come and put this roof on. They're almost done. I think they'll be done in about 4 minutes, roughly. I don't know. Hopefully by the time this video is over. Now, this is Steven, and he is an awesome dad. I don't know if you can tell this, but it says awesome dad. Now, we've come into a problem on this, and I think we talked about the fact there's a water tank right there, and there's a fire hydrant right there, and yeah, you see it. It's right there. And the city says it's impossible. You're gonna have to have a dehydrated house. So what that means is that we turn the people into human raisins. The people buying this house don't want to be human raisins, right? It's weird.
It's terrible. It's a terrible experience.
It is. It's just, you feel wrinkly and you look older than you should be, okay? So, Steven is some kind of a wizard, a water wizard, right?
Water wizard.
A water wizard. And this is what he does. He takes water literally from the sky, filters it, and then delivers it to the house through pipes that we call plumbing.
That's right. So it's a whole home water supply that's a rainwater harvesting system. So we collect the water, off the roof, we store it, we pump it, we filter it and sanitize it, and then supply it into the home as good, clean drinking water.
So then what's your monthly water bill?
Zero.
So $3.
Free water.
$3. Okay, I got it. So I've got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
How do you fix a broken pumpkin?
You contact Cinderella's fairy godmother.
Close. A pumpkin patch. Now, how do we contact you? What's your number? Tell them.
My number
Or
is...
the number of the company, whatever.
Yeah. You can reach us directly at 972-740-4260 or through email at steven@tankbuilders.us. That's Steven with a V at tankbuilders.us.
And do you just service the U.S. or other countries too?
I have been to Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, but mainly it's the U.S.
That makes sense, yeah, that makes sense.
And we not only build complete rainwater harvesting systems, but we do water filtration and conditioning if you've got bad water that needs to be cleaned up. We do subcontract labor services to build water storage tanks for other companies if needed. And then we can do a variety of water systems. If it's water that needs to be stored, pumped, or cleaned, we can do it.
This is truly amazing. Sir, I'm glad that there are people like you in the world. Now, if you had a friend that was named Rika, would you want to be close to Rika? That's all I got. Have you guys ever done anything stupid in your life? Because I do constantly. Now, let me tell you what we did. Yesterday, we put in these doorknobs, right? And then we got the garage door in, at which point we could lock all the windows, lock all the doors, lock the garage door. But I was in a hurry because I had to play a show last night. And I didn't bring the keys with me. So now we're locked out of this house. See, it's locked. I don't know how we're gonna get in because I don't have any keys. Now I'm gonna show you, there's a couple ways to get in a house without needing keys. And one of those, you can card the door, but I don't want to waste my credit card because it's got such a high limit. It's like unlimited. It's like a platinum gold black card. So what we're gonna do instead, which is very delicate, is you just kick the door open. You've probably seen it in movies. We wanna kick right here next to the knob real hard, and then when we do, it just shatters the jam and knocks it all out. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna just get let's back up a bit, Drew, so you can get a good look at this. All right, ready? So
Hold it.
What?
This is my house, and that's a new door.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And there's no drywall.
Oh. Where'd you get the key?
The other side of the wall.
Oh, see. This is embarrassing. This is more embarrassing than when I found out that I had a twin brother that was an only child.
That's terrible.
Oh, hey there. Me, just sitting around doing nothing, watching these guys work. And they're hard workers. We got Sylvester, we got David, we got Angel. They're amazing. Look at this work they've done. All the metal roof up there. Now that is beautiful. Now here's my question to you guys. Why do you work so hard when you know that the end of the world is coming? Here's how I know that the end of the world is coming. Okay, what's today's date?
June 27th.
June 27th, that's correct. How many June bugs have you seen this year?
None.
None.
Zero.
I saw one the other day. I'm like, wait a minute. Something is horribly wrong here. Usually June bugs come around April, and it is June 27th. Like, they are very late. I think this is going to be the year Jesus comes back because the June bugs are not here. Have you thought about that? No, you just think about yourself. You just think about all the work that you got to do.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.